Hey, this is Phil Denfeld and it's your Friday video update. So today is the day before the implementation of the TRID guidelines. That starts with loan applications taken October 3rd, Saturday, and beyond. So what does that mean for you as a real estate agent, and what can you do to ensure a smooth transaction under the new TRID guidelines? Let's talk about some things that you can do. First, plan on a 45-day settlement. You know, it's been a very commonplace for me to get contracts and say, hey, Phil, can you close this month in 2-3 weeks or whatever? And we get the loan closed. And unfortunately, for the time being anyway, under the new TRID guidelines, everyone really needs to readjust their thinking and think about a 45-day settlement. 2, choose the settlement company right up front. Why is that important? It's important because we immediately need to contact that settlement agent and start communicating with them about their fees and costs. And I'll get more on that later, but it's so important that the settlement company is identified on the contract. And by the way, if you can write in not only the name of the settlement company, but a contact phone number in the contract, that would be very helpful. 3, all borrowers should have an email address to allow for e-signatures. With the new e-consent and e-signature guidelines, it's important that each borrower on the transaction have a unique email address so that they can uniquely agree to do disclosures via electronic signature. Now, if the client is not able to do so, then everything will have to be done with what we call wet signatures, where the documents are actually signed in pen. And it's just going to make the process a little more cumbersome. So if you have someone that does not have an email address, you should help them get one. Just go to Gmail or whatever and get them signed up with an email address so you have that right at the beginning of the transaction. Number 4, send all addendums and identify all credits and so forth right away in the transaction. I know things come up later on, and yes, we'll have to try to deal with those, but the less changes towards the end of the transaction, the more likely it is that your transaction will close on time. Number 5, tell your clients that their transaction depends on their timely response to all inquiries from the lender. I can't stress to you enough how important it's going to be to work through the process in a very timely manner without delay. It's to everyone's best interest if we can do this together and everyone understands from the very beginning how important it is. 6, moving closing dates is really not going to be easy anymore. There are some guidelines that come into play for when closing dates have to be moved, and really the only one that you need to be concerned with is if the APR increases or there is a prepayment penalty added to a loan, which we won't do. And lastly, if the loan program changes, the customer goes from a fixed to an ARM or FHA to VA or something like that, then we might have to move settlement dates. And last but not least, the closing disclosure is the responsibility of the lender. So last minute changes that used to be able to be taken care of right at the settlement table with the title company aren't going to happen anymore. Everything has to go back through the lender because ultimately we're financially responsible and at risk for any penalties and fees associated with non-compliance to TRID. So those are the main guidelines that I wanted to kind of point out with you today. There's more on this that we're all going to learn as we go through, but your cooperation to these 7 points are going to help get us started off on the right foot. If you have any questions about any of this, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend.